Standing, and now there are people sitting there waiting for me to talk.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
that's
unbelievable.
good. Good luck.
My name is Jerry Winkler. I'm 33 years old, and I'm from Amsterdam. The way I see it is that I was having a second chance in my life. I won't have to be the guy who needs to steal for his food. I don't have to be the guy who needs to lie to have a place to sleep.
Through a remarkable twist of fate, Jerry Winkler went from living in the gutter to the penthouse suite.
I was living on the streets, homeless, for almost 9 years. Coming in so much money overnight, that changed everything. As soon as my story was in the media, there were some people were asking me if I can do a seminar to talk to other people about my life. They can learn something of it, then please let me do. And I believe that this world can still be a better place for everybody.
Now, he's on a mission to share his inspirational message that anyone's luck can change when it's least expected.
Jerry's story is the ultimate example of the fact that your life can change. Even though you think it's planned from A to Z, it can turn.
Well, I know Jerry. We met at a party from a mutual friend. It's obviously hard to wrap my head around the fact that he became a millionaire overnight. It almost sounds like a fairy tale or a Hollywood movie. Your speech was great. It was great to see. Yeah, of course. To see where you were back then and now you have the opportunity to do things. That's amazing to see.
Jerry's rags to riches story started when he was just a young boy.
I grew up in a middle-class neighborhood. We had a pretty big house with a garden. I lived there with my mom. She was a single parent, and my brother. And I had everything what a child needs. When I was 8 years old, they found out that my mom had a brain tumor. And from that morning, my whole life changed.
Goodbye, Jerry.
She couldn't take care of her children anymore. My brother, he stayed in that house because he was just that old enough. Come on, time to go. And I had to live with my father and my stepmother.
Is that all you did so far? How long you been up here?
If I didn't write my stuff like my stepmother wants me to see me writing, they were mad. Even at one time that my father grabbed me and he said, "You're gonna sit right there and you're gonna write the way I want you to write." And it was getting worse, more punishments, more beating ups. Total different rules and whole different life. I was unwanted in their family. They never treated me like a son or their own child. I had to move to foster parents where they have children who couldn't live at home anymore. And the state was responsible for me. They had to put me in different houses, so I moved like 33 times. Everything was chaotic. I couldn't handle it anymore.
By the time Jerry turned 18, his biological mother had passed away, and he was forced out on the streets.
I want to make my own money. But when you're homeless, people are gonna see that, hey, there's something wrong with a guy.
At this low point in his life, Jerry had no money, no home, and no hope.
You had to watch out for the police. You had to watch out for people who will rob you. It was a nightmare. It was the biggest nightmare ever.
Today, he's showing his friend Joel how he lived for 9 long years before his transformation from the depths of poverty to the height of prosperity.
If you see over there, there's a little gate over there. That's also where I spent the night, nearby the pizzeria. These guys were folding up their chairs and put them against the wall. Yeah. And then I put the chairs, 2 of them next to each other, and then I had a little bed so I could sleep on it.
Can you show me some places
Let's
where
have a walk.
Yeah?
Let's walk around. So right now we're getting to one of the places where I sleep like 3 or 4 times.
Where?
And it's right in there.
You slept here.
Yes, I'm not kidding you.
This is crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy.
In 2010, after 19 years without a home of his own, at the age of 27, Jerry was hit with another family shockwave.
While I was on the streets, my brother, he always tried to help me. What he could do for me, he did. And I looked at him and I said, what's going on? What happened? And then he told me that my father, is not my biological father.
What?
All the things what happened in my past finally start making sense. Why I didn't look like my father. Why my stepmother always tells you will be never like your brother.
Somebody should have told you this years ago.
Why I never was getting the love that a child needs.
He used to treat me so badly compared to you.
I mean, think about it. I look just like him. You look nothing like him.
Well, all I was looking for was just the truth. I just want to know who my father was.
Maybe there's a hint about your dad and some of Mom's old things. I kept a bunch of her papers.
We were looking for some clues to find out who could be my father.
Okay. Oh, here, look. Work was very challenging today. Alfred was very temperamental.
Who's Alfred?
And I have 3 names. And one of my names is Alfred. It's not a common name in Holland. Why I was having the name Alfred. But the only connection that there was between Alfred and my mom was her boss. And my brother and me were looking at each other. We're like, that's impossible, you know. But the biggest shock was yet to come.
10, Jerry Winkler was grappling with decades of horrible luck. A childhood spent in, and now a new family bombshell.
Dad's not your real father.
Well, all I was looking for was just the truth. I just want to know who my father was. We were looking for some clues. And I have 3 names. And one of my names is Alfred. It's not a common name. And maybe that was the secret message what my mom gave to me. The only connection that there was between Alfred and my mom was her boss.
It says he died years ago. What's the use? I'm not gonna get to meet him.
Yeah, but there's got to be something to this. This is your only lead. You got to see where it takes you.
A little more digging, and Jerry uncovered the name of the deceased man's lawyer. He mustered the courage to set up a meeting.
So my mother was Alfred Winkler's secretary in the 80s. I think he might be my father.
He said, I knew your father, and you look like him. We have to do a DNA test.
That's fine.
It'll take a few weeks, so you'll have to be patient.
Maybe also a little bit of my story that I told them about my homeless life and everything around. They feel maybe a little bit sorry and try to help out. And that's when I gave my DNA, it was waiting.
Even today, the memories of those turbulent times are hard for him to forget.
You have no money, and this is your life. And there's no place where you can go. You always think about how it was in the days before. And if you keep reminding that where you're coming from, then then life only can get better than it was. So yeah, it's also a weird thing because none of this could ever happen if I just didn't find out that my father was my real father. It's amazing. Life is life.
But during the fall of 2010, Jerry's life was at a total standstill. He endured an agonizing 2-week wait to find out if his DNA was a match.
And everything I did in those days was only in thinking of when are the results in. It made me crazy.
A bundle of nerves, he was finally summoned back to the lawyer's office to hear the lab test's outcome.
He says, well, the results are that it's more than 99.99999% for sure that Alfred Winkler is your real father. My life as I know it was about to change forever. Everything was just a roller coaster of emotions. Overnight, I became the luckiest guy in Amsterdam. Alfred Winkler was a multimillionaire. Money he had was between 90 and 100 million euros. Home, sweet home.
Wow.
In an instant, Jerry learned he is the sole heir to a massive inheritance. Jerry left the streets behind forever for the comfort of his own home in one of the city's nicest sections.
Sitting here on the couch sometimes when I'm home alone and think, wow, this is all mine and everything is already paid. That's such a big thrill. That's, oh.
Yeah. It's very easy to say that he's very lucky now, but he also has been in the gutter for like years. Jerry is a guy who deserves this.
Because I was homeless, I appreciate the small things. I didn't have anything. And now, finally, I can enjoy this world. The first thing I did were my teeth. Because of using the drugs and not taking care of your teeth, it was almost all gone. So I had an operation for 6 months to put some new teeth in. And this is around 26,000 euros for all the teeth. But it's important, I can show myself and I can smile again.
And helping those who are down on their luck is equally as important.
I want to do something special for the homeless. So when you think that life will never be better, you never know. It could always turn around 180 degrees.